Hey guys, so a lot of people have been asking now about my new editing PC and what the specs are. So if you've been following me on Twitter, you've probably seen a couple of photos that I kind of teased what I'd picked out for hardware. So let's talk about, first of all, the old PC that it's actually replacing and go over the reasons why I'm replacing it. So the old PC was an AMD, what's that, Finian 2 X4 965 black 3.4 GHz quad-core CPU, and I overclocked it to 3.9. It had 8 gigs of RAM, a gigabyte motherboard. It was a pretty budget motherboard, but it was actually a damn good motherboard. Never had any issues with it. It had a Seagate Barracuda 2TB hard drive. It was in a Cooler Master high airflow 912 plus full tower, and it had an AMD Radeon HD 7850 graphics card. And I updated it about a year after I built it with a Samsung 250GB SSD. And it was and still continues to be an absolutely wonderful editing machine. Not great for playing games, and especially not great for playing games and recording them, but a damn good machine for recording Xbox gameplay and a damn good machine for editing. Took a little bit of time to render things out, but like nothing really bad about it. And it still works incredibly well. I'm going to probably pass it on to either Hawkman or Pyrex, whoever is going to use it to edit up videos. But I'm going to hold on to it for the moment as like a backup in case anything does go wrong with the new computer. But I've been using the new computer now for 2 weeks and not had a single bit of problem with it, so I'm loving it. So let's talk about why, the reasons why I'm building a new computer. Because this thing does edit videos, it does record videos perfectly fine. So why am I upgrading to a new computer? So of course, when you tell people you're making a new PC, especially a relatively high-end one, they think gaming. Now definitely I'll be playing AAA games and PC indie games and stuff like that, because I work on this channel full time at the moment. The guys aren't around all the time I'm around, so I can certainly sit down and play some solo games, and I like that because that's where this channel actually began. It was just me playing games like Kerbal Space Program and Minecraft and stuff like that. So I want to get back into doing PC games by myself. And if Brian or someone makes a PC in the future as well, that means we can go play PC games together too. So certainly I do want to use this computer to play PC games, but it's certainly not the reason I'm building it. I could live without playing high-end PC games. So the real reason behind building this computer is increasing productivity, making things quicker and faster to edit and render, because that really does take up a huge amount of time on the old computer. And also to be able to do live streaming while also recording a high quality version of the gameplay at the same time as streaming a lower quality one to like YouTube or Twitch. So those are the main reasons. So for the CPU, I was going to go for an Intel 7700K because it was one of the best CPUs for gaming and it was pretty damn decent for editing. But because of the delay, Ryzen turned up from AMD, and I was quite impressed with price to performance and all the multi-cores on the CPUs. So I was like, this could be very interesting. Now, because revenue didn't really change on the channel, I was like, can I actually afford to make a new computer now? And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go it. So I decided to go for it. I let Ryzen mature for a month, let that platform kind of mature and see how it turned out. And then I went, I'm going to do it. Even though I'm not entirely sure I can afford it. But I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. So let's start with the heart of the PC, the CPU. The reason I didn't get the 1700K was because Ryzen turned up with their 8-core CPUs, and I was like, this will be perfect for video editing. Now, it's not got the same gaming performance as the 7700K, but it does have much more cores, much more threads, and much better performance when it comes to rendering out videos and video editing in general. Now I went for the baseline 8-core because the 1700X and the 1800X, you can actually get their performance by just sticking a custom cooler onto the 1700 if you want. And you can actually get it up to like the 1800X's performance. So the plan will probably be to buy a all-in-one liquid cooler for the CPU in the future and take it up to like 4 gigahertz, and it'll be a damn good CPU for a very, very long time. But also what helps is the 1700 is very cheap. Like, it's a really good price, and it comes with a stock cooler, so you don't have to spend any extra money getting an actual cooler as well for it. So I can always hold off and buy a custom cooler later. So that was, I think, a really good choice. Now I was very tempted to go with the 1600 and get the 6-core. That would have still been very good for editing, but I decided to go for the 8-core because those 2 extra CPU cores might be really useful in the future. Now the motherboard I picked was the Asus ROG Strix 350F gaming motherboard. Not that expensive. Like, it's a Strix gaming motherboard and it's like 115 quid. It's a surprisingly good price. So I'm really happy with this motherboard and it seems to be working really well. I've overclocked my CPU on a stock cooler to 3.5 gigahertz. Now the Ryzens do have a boost. They go up to 3.7 gigahertz, but that's only in single threaded tasks, like if you're gaming. So I've got it overclocked to 3.5 on all the CPU cores. And hopefully I can overclock it to 4 gigahertz in the future with a custom cooler. So the motherboard, I'm pretty damn happy with. I've had no problem overclocking my RAM on this motherboard as well. That's something that you should really do if you get a Ryzen system. And this motherboard has worked really well with the RAM I picked up. Now the RAM I picked up was the G.Skill Trident Z series. The reason I picked up this was because the CPU works with specific manufactured RAM types, and this is one of them. So it works really well, and it's a 3000 megahertz RAM, but I've got it overclocked to, I think it's 3066. I could overclock to 3200, but if I was booting the system up from cold, it would complain about the RAM speed. Whereas if the computer was already going, I could actually just go into the BIOS, put it up, and then reboot it. It'd be fine. It would actually run at that speed. But I decided to put it onto 3066 because that seems to be where it's very happy being. So that's the motherboard, CPU, and RAM. I decided to pick up a Gigabyte GTX 1080. I really wanted to get a 1080 Ti, but it's like a couple hundred quid more, and it doesn't really give that performance more, like, you know, to the extra money. I think that this GPU is probably the least impressive part of my actual build. There seems to be other GTX 1080s that are just better performing than the one I've got, unfortunately, but it's still a 1080, so it still is really goddamn good. And I'm really nitpicking the fact that it's not the best 1080 out there. It's a really goddamn good card. Now what I did kind of splurge on was storage. I decided to get a 1 terabyte SSD. Now really, in realistic terms, I probably could have just went 500 gig and be really happy with that and save myself a good chunk of money. But I had a 250 gig SSD on the old computer, and I was constantly having to delete stuff and kind of maintain the storage a lot, and it would kind of eat up a little bit of time going through and deleting files and deleting caches and stuff. And that was even with having my user folder on the hard drive and not on the SSD. So I could have went 500 gig and it'd probably been fine, but I kind of worried that maybe in a year or two's time I would be getting to the point where that 1 terabyte might be getting, that 500 gig might be getting really full, and I might be like going, damn, I wish I had actually had the balls to go for a 1 terabyte. So I decided to preemptively get a 1 terabyte SSD, and this should do me really well for a long ass time. And then mechanical hard drive, I went for a Seagate 4 terabyte Constellation, which is a really fast hard drive. Now it is like an enterprise grade one, so I could have easily gone down to the Barracuda that I'd got in the previous computer, or I could have even taken the one off the previous computer. But that old one on the old computer did have a little bit of problem with the head. The head's kind of making noises and sometimes would actually crash the computer. So I decided to get a good quality hard drive, so I went for the enterprise one. Now this is where I could have saved like 50 quid if I'd gone for the one lower down and just got like a Barracuda 4 terabyte, but I thought this one's probably the best choice. It's going to give me some good stability, it's pretty damn fast, and it's good. So guys, that was the computer build. That's what I built, that's all the parts, and it is a damn good machine. However, it fell into a problem. So I have an Elgato HD60, which is used for recording Xbox gameplay, and it's great. And with the new computer, I could crank the quality right up to 40 megabits a second, which meant it actually pretty much captures exactly what the Xbox looks like, instead of the old compressed version that I used to get when I was recording Xbox gameplay. So I was super happy. but I wanted to use OBS so that I could stream and record at the same time, and I could also save different audio tracks, so I could have the game audio, me speaking as a separate audio, and then the guys speaking as another separate audio. And I got it all set up, and I was really happy with it, and it was perfect. I could record and I could stream at the same time, and I could have a really beautiful recording that was perfect quality, and then I could have a stream that could be different bit rates for different, like Twitch or YouTube. After that, I realized, wait a minute, OBS is getting a compressed stream from the Elgato. So the Elgato was actually sending a compressed stream to OBS, and I looked up and I found out that you couldn't fix this. This was just a limitation with the Elgato and OBS. So I built this brand new computer to record in beautiful quality and stream, and I was stuck back at the original point where I was actually getting shitty quality. Because this basically, if I was an old computer, I'd be getting exactly the same goddamn quality, but I was on a really good brand new computer. So it's like, fudge. So I did a bunch of research, and I picked up the AV Media Live Gamer HD 2. So forgive me for the really bad quality. Like, I got this delivered to me next day delivery, like in the evening, so it's all recorded kind of dark, and I just slapped in the computer as well, so I didn't like do any really good unboxing for this. But this saved the day. This meant I could stream perfectly good quality from the Xbox into the PC into OBS. So of course, when you're in OBS and you're streaming or recording, it's of course better to have a really good quality source and not a compressed source that the Elgato was giving me. So with this capture card from AV Media, I was able to record into OBS really good quality, and then of course then stream it out as well. So thankfully that saved the day. Now, that was something I hadn't budgeted for, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it works. It worked really goddamn good. Like, the quality is just perfect. Now, of course, YouTube takes it down to like 12 megabits in quality on the YouTube channel, so it's never going to look as good as what I record, but of course, I'm sure at some point in the future, YouTube will bump up probably the quality of all their footage that they do allow. And that mean that the quality I'm recording at will suddenly be much more relevant on YouTube. But of course, getting a original source quality is also better for then streaming it and recording it. And of course, having better quality all around is a much better thing. So that, guys, is the new computer. I'm extremely happy with it. It's working really well. I've been using it for almost 2 weeks now, and it's pretty much perfect. It really has helped with production. It really has helped with streaming good quality, recording good quality. The extra storage is going to be phenomenal for the future, and it means when we do have more live events, I'll be able to cover them really quickly and get the news out to you really well. That will hopefully then benefit my income and make the YouTube channel actually sustainable. And of course, Mythbusters and whatever else I decide to do will just continue on and hopefully improve with this new hardware. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. This is my new computer. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for the support, the subscribes, the views, the comments. Everything helps really well, and I very much appreciate it. Let's see if I continue to actually make this into a viable business or not. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.